feels to me like the new generation, and me, Ernst, we spoke about it earlier before you came. When we originally, our whole group came to Saracens, myself, Ernst, we all came on the fact that we had degrees. That's how we got our Tier 1 visas.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they've tightened that up. You now have to have played a full test previous 13 months, or have ancestry or European passport. It do feel to me like in modern day rugby, and that's one thing, we'll speak about Varsity Cup a little bit later, but and Adam sees it a lot now at his SAS. Obviously, he's working with young players. There's a bit of a gap, not an education gap, but if you look at the Springbok team that toured now, and Adam's pointed out, they were very inexperienced. And it's kind of, and if you looked at our lineouts, you could see that there was nobody that took charge of it. Let's look at that England game. We picked Peter Steff de Toy at 7. We didn't compete one lineout, which, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Perhaps he was chosen on an attacking basis, but that's, you kind of see those gaps coming through the later stage.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Ernst. I look at the system which people run everywhere, and I try and explain to them, it's actually not that hard to become a professional rugby player. Everybody wants to know, how do you become a professional? But I think they follow the wrong model. The model is stay in the game until you're 25. That's the model that works.
100%.
And if you look at your career, you look at Aaron's career, you look at Scar's career. I remember just when I went over, Alex Good was our fullback, and Eddie Jones had moved him to fullback, but he was actually England fly half. And he came to me and he pushed to play fly half again. And I said, and he kept pushing, he needs to play for England, because then at fly half there was a gap, he's going to play for England. And I said to him, Goody, I'm going to give you a bit of good advice. Remember this now. Do your apprenticeship for a long time. The longer you play before you get exposed, the better chance there is that you're going to be prepared for whatever is coming. And it was probably the best advice, because Alex Good at the moment is an unbelievable rugby player, not only for Saracens, but when he does play in Mike Brown's place, he offers something different. But every player is like that, and I actually think that makes a more rounded rugby player. As you said, it's not just about the inexperience from a rugby point of view on the field. It's from a person point of view. Yeah. They are young people. They haven't actually experienced life. They've experienced professional rugby, which is not life. And being a good rugby player, I think the essence that all coaches are looking for now is character. And character is built over time. So it's an interesting one, Etas. And Ari will know a lot more with him working with the youngsters now.
No, I agree. Look, I think we were, at that stage, the unfortunate ones when we sat at the age of 23 and didn't get any contracts before that. And looking back at my life, I was so fortunate not getting a contract so early. You had a student life, you traveled around a bit, you crafted your own human spirit, and then eventually fell upon rugby again. And as you said now, you look at your senior players on the Springbok side, and are they really senior? They're 22, 23 years old. They've played 50 caps, but have they experienced all different types of rugby styles and different environments? These guys have played for one team, and they've probably played 40 games for their team, and then they got drafted in the Springbok side. And then when things get tough, you've got nothing to fall back on. It gets hard and you get stressed. And I almost compare, if you look at the Springbok side and you compare it to Barbarian side. The Barbarian side, you don't have to coach them. The guys are all seniors. They just know what to do in a defensive pattern. It's almost looked like they've done defense for 5 weeks beforehand, but they rocked up 2 days before the game, and obviously probably wasn't even with it the whole 2 days when they trained, and you look at the Springbok side, and the thing is, as soon as they go hard and you've got nothing to fall back on, there's no experience, then the guys start getting panicked, and then the whole structure just falls flat. So it's an unfortunate thing that you have to look at, but the guys are getting younger, and there's not a lot of guys that will get drafted at the age of 23 now. That's because I almost feel like if you've been missed till that age, you're probably not good enough.
Absolutely.
And it's exactly like you said, it's building character and temperament, which you can only build temperament if you've had setbacks in your life, and the old saying dog. You need a bit of dog as well.